Good morning, everybody. We have a mixed trade in the grain markets here early on Thursday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. July corn futures up 4.5 cents at 6.95 and a quarter. December corn is up 1 1/4 at 6.11. July soybeans up 6 3/4 at 15.69 and a quarter. November beans up 7 1/4 at 14.55 and a half. July Chicago wheat is down 7 cents at 6.75 and a quarter. July Kansas City wheat down 2 3/4 at 6.33. July spring wheat is unchanged at 7.64 and a quarter. Thank you for coming back. If you're listening on the podcast, as always, really appreciate it, guys. Leave me a review or a rating if you have not already. I would love to hear or see any feedback that you may have. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like the channel. Make sure you subscribe. That would really help this channel to grow and help YouTube to spread this stuff around. If you need some additional assistance from me, go to my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan here in the upper right-hand corner. For $49 a month, I send out a ton of information to my subscribers. My morning email goes out every business day at 6:30 a.m. Central Time. I also have a text message service that accompanies that. I'm now doing subscriber-only videos and content almost every single day of the week. I did one yesterday regarding our cash grain marketing situation, what we've been doing here recently, how I believe is the most effective way to handle these summer weather markets. So this is something that I sent out to subscribers yesterday, and this sort of stuff goes out again every single day of the week for the most part. To get into the headlines here this morning, we do have a USDA report today, and this is the monthly crop production and WASDE report. It will be out at 11 a.m. Central Time. The adjustments that will be the most well-followed adjustments here, I think, include the South American production estimates. I think the trade is very much concerned with this Brazilian corn number in particular. I think the traders are also interested in any adjustments to the old crop demand estimates, both for the U.S. and the world. We're looking for some kind of a friendly report, I guess, grand scheme of things. I mean, when you look at the adjustments that are expected, especially in regard to corn. In regard to new crop, USDA is unlikely in this report to adjust its production numbers. The yield number probably won't move. The acreage number probably won't move. Those are adjustments that you should see in July. Remember, the more important report this month is on June 30th, in my opinion at least. That's when we'll get a fresh set of acreage numbers from the government. We'll get grain stocks. That's the one that is much bigger, in my opinion. And just keep in mind here with these acreage numbers, I don't think anybody has a clue within like 2 or 3 million on corn acres, and probably the same thing for soybean acres. It's still a big unknown here. I know all the talk has been about weather, but acreage is still a big deal here, and we really don't know what sort of acreage was actually planted. So it's for that reason in particular this year that I think that the acreage report is really important. Last week's ethanol production was the best of the post-COVID era. Weekly output 1.067 million barrels per day. That was up 3.2% on the week, still down 2.7% versus the same week in 2019. We've been above 1 million barrels per day for 4 consecutive weeks now. So ethanol really improving here. Production margins for most ethanol producers are largely positive across the country. Gasoline demand fell again, and some people believe that number could be skewed due to those pipeline issues last month. But in any case, the ethanol grind is very strong, and that's positive. U.S. weather forecasts remain somewhat threatening. The Weather Prediction Center forecast suggests that North Dakota and South Dakota we'll see some additional rain over the next 7 days. A lot of Iowa, Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin, a lot of the eastern Corn Belt lift drier by comparison. Temperatures slated to be above normal during both the 6 to 10 and 8 to 14 day periods. So I think that the trade is looking at this weather deal and sees a threat here. This is the Weather Prediction Center map for the next 7 days. And you can see maybe another inch of rain or so for some of these areas of North Dakota, lesser amounts for South Dakota, Nebraska with a little bit, but Iowa largely dry, southern Minnesota largely dry, Illinois largely dry. That far northern area of Illinois into that southern area of Wisconsin has been very dry. Even Indiana and Ohio, Michigan remains dry. So this is kind of threatening. And then you look at the 6 to 10-day maps, and we're essentially expecting below normal precipitation, above normal temperatures, at least for the west in regard to temperatures, maybe some cooler stuff in the east. But I think that the market is reading this as being a threat here, and I think it's for that reason that the markets have held together very, very well. There's, of course, some conflict again this morning when you look at the GFS versus the euro, but in both instances, rain is largely left out of Iowa and southern Minnesota in particular. So those are some areas that may become problematic here fairly quickly. We will have an export sales report this morning at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. Old crop corn sales expected 100 to 500, new crop 200 to 600. Soybean sales for old crop, maybe some net cancellations, maybe as good as 200 to the positive side. New crop 100 to 400 expected. Wheat sales should be 200 to 450. The cattle market yesterday was mostly higher in the fat cattle and lower in the feeder cattle. Cash cattle hasn't really done a whole lot, 119 to 120 again yesterday. In the outside markets, the S&P is down 3 points, the Dow's up 20, gold's down $11, silver down as well. The U.S. dollar is up just a little bit. Crude oil is up 9 cents in the July WTI at 70.05. Remember, everybody, USDA report today at 11 a.m. Central Time. I will talk to you same time tomorrow.